Good Sunday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel with Weather Stick. It's purple, which means it's cold. Sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Sam channel, you can watch this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on this Sunday, March 19th. As you can tell, I've been doing some work on the studio. Got a little bit more done. Got a lot done actually yesterday. Cleaned it up a bit, and it's still a work in progress. I got to get rid of some of these like wires and straighten it up a bit. But I made a new corner for sort of cleared out the corner for Weather Stick. It has to have its own. It's got kind of an attitude, and it kind of has to have its own little corner, to itself. It's got to have a kind of a radius, 10-degree radius of nobody getting in its space. It has just, it gets a little attitude every once in a while, but it's staying purple, as you can see, because it's cold, and it's going to stay cold for a while longer. Just a couple of more nights, I think, and then we'll shake some of this off. But can you believe this morning we are actually seeing some snow flurries? That's what you're seeing on radar this morning. Yeah, even down here in southern Kentucky. Now it's not that organized. It's not that big of a deal. We've got some troughs here. You can see those straws just kind of laying in the atmosphere there. Those little straws here and there. You got one over here to the east. You got one here to the south. There's another one off to the north. And in that upper flow, it is pushing some of these, just kind of squeezing out some of these little light snow flurries. So you may see a flurry or two fly by this morning, but this is not going to last that long. And by this afternoon, we'll see some sunshine returning. But this morning, if you're up early, you got to go to work, or maybe you're going to church, you may see some of those flurries. Again, it's not that big of a deal. I know it's been a little bit since we've seen any kind of flurries around here. A lot of those are not even making it to the ground. But with the colder air in place, yeah, it stands to reason, because we're starting out in the 20s this morning, and that just doesn't help matters at all when it comes to, that sort of thing with flurries just kind of flying around. Enough upper moisture to touch off some of these light snow showers. Okay, here's the model blender for the next 10 days. And you can see that we're going to go from very cold to very warm in a short amount of time. Tonight and tomorrow night, we're still going to be below freezing. So do not set out any plants just yet. We still have a couple of more nights to go before you're in the safe zone. But as you can see, after that, once we get into Tuesday and then beyond, no more freezing temperatures. And maybe we can just go right on into spring and not have to worry about any more of those. Although, as some of you have told me, there's still a couple of more of these little winters to go. So it can happen in April too. But check out those numbers. We go from near 60 Tuesday to 63 Wednesday, 78 to almost 80 on Thursday. Wow. And then we kind of stay in the 60s and 70s after that. Severe weather, I know that's your first thought when you see something that warm that quickly. And then, but here's the thing, I don't see a real quick cool down. It's only a slight cool down after that. So maybe we won't have to deal with severe weather. But I do think thunderstorms eventually are going to come our direction. Here's a look at some temperatures this morning. And as you might expect, there's some 18s, 19s, 20, 21, 22. Most of southern Kentucky is in the low to mid 20s. And then we start to see some upper 20s or mid to upper 20s in western Kentucky. So it is where the skies are clear. You've got more of those upper teens to low 20s. We have some cloud cover now moving through the area with those snow flurries. So it's a few degrees warmer. But the thing is, this cold start is going to kind of keep us from getting a warmer day. The clouds may hang in here long enough to give us, chilly readings, and we won't have time to recover with any afternoon sun. So it's not going to get all that warm today, even when the sun comes out. So just remember that. All right, here's a look at the ebb and flow of the pattern, the jet stream, and how things are going to behave over the next few days. There you see the big dive there with the cold, cold air. You've got high pressure just shoving that cold air down right into Kentucky, Tennessee, even as far south as Dixie, and then into Texas and Oklahoma. The snows, like some of those snows I was telling you about in parts of Colorado and on down into New Mexico. It's crazy. But there's enough cold air to make all that happen. Put this into motion. We'll see how things behave during the day. Notice we don't recover all that much. We're going to keep things buried in the chilly air, even though we might see a little bit of sun today. We keep going into tonight, another cold night. And then here we go into Monday, into Tuesday. Actually, this would be Wednesday, Tuesday night, actually. Let me back that up because it went kind of fast. I should have slowed that down just a little. All right, now we take a look. There we go. This is Monday night. Monday night, about 7 o'clock. Notice we start to see some retention of the dip in the jet stream. It's still in the middle part of the country, but for us, we start to see we're right on the boundary of the coldest air and a little bit warmer air, plus that impulse you see coming out of Texas and out of the Gulf. That's going to come our direction just as soon as we begin to warm up, and that's good because a lot of this would end up being snow if it didn't warm up. And this is Tuesday morning that we're looking at right there. Low pressure system, not a very deep one, 1,004 millibars, but it's going to bring in Gulf moisture to the panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, Georgia, parts of Mississippi. It's going to bring some pretty decent rainfall to those folks. So as we move on with time, that's going to strengthen a little more. Notice it goes to 998 and becomes a pretty wound up storm for the East Coast. Well, at least for the Carolinas and the Virginias. We will still be in that somewhat cold trough with the coldest air still being here. So that's why I say the next couple of nights, we're still going to be in the freezer. We're still going to have to deal with temperatures below freezing. But then after that, once we get into Tuesday, Tuesday seems to be the better day that we start to see this whole thing begin to moderate, and we'll start to see a better zonal flow from the west, as you can see here. That's when we'll start to get some of this more Pacific flow, and we start to warm things up, as you can tell. Look at that. Nice big warm up coming our way. And once it moves here, it's going to establish itself and stay here for the rest of the week. Now, the better chance of rain for us is going to come, as you can see, with this next low pressure system. This would be Friday morning. So Thursday night into Friday morning, maybe even into early Saturday. This is going to be our weather maker, and this could be showers and thunderstorms, and maybe even some heavy rain. Severe weather is questionable right now, but that's certainly something to watch. Uh, I didn't turn it on, did I? See, I got caught up in making sure that Never mind. But anyway, I apologize. That only happens every once in a while. I am so sorry. Let me just go through this real quick. Let me back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Okay, there we go. So there you see the system coming out of the Gulf. We're still kind of in that, zonal flow, not the zonal flow, but the trough of the coldest air. And then finally it moves on, becomes a big storm for the Northeast. They just keep getting hit with storms now. Look at that, 986 millibar. That's almost as strong as the one that came through here a couple of Fridays ago. And then you see that we start to take over and be the benefactors of the warmer flow once we get into Tuesday and into Wednesday, then into Thursday. That's when we start to see all of this, more organized showers and thunderstorms coming into our area. Again, folks, sorry about that. It's like, I just want to make sure I got it all in there. And then, okay, one more group of graphics to show you, and that is the surface map. Let me make sure I turn it on. There we go. So a look at the surface map showing high pressure, pretty much keeping us out of any precipitation. And again, if you happen to see a few snowflakes this morning, not a big deal. It's just some of them are not even going to hit the ground. Where they do, more north of us, it could be a little slick spot maybe here and there. But here we go. We get into Monday, high pressure ridge moves east. Here comes the first batch of rainfall with this first system. We really don't have a cold front come through. It's just, this is all on the backside of that high. We get Gulf of Mexico moisture meeting up with these Pacific systems. And then we get a little rain, some thunderstorm activity out of it. And this is where we start to see the heavier rain and thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. And then we have a frontal passage after that into Saturday and Sunday. There you see the behind the system moisture and some breezy conditions. And it will cool us down just a little, but it's not going to be like we are right now. That's probably the biggest news out of all of this, is that once we warm up, it's not going to get colder for at least the 10-day period. We'll get really warm like on Thursday and Friday, and then we'll just cool down a little bit behind that last system. So it's not going to be something that's crazy cold like it is now. But the high yesterday was 46, the average 61. We were 15 degrees below average in Bowling Green yesterday, and we'll probably end up maybe even colder than that 46 today. Even if the sun comes out, it's not going to warm up that much today, but the warm up is coming. Give it another day or two. In the meantime, thanks for watching this morning and for helping me get through the bumps and the potholes and stuff here, as I've been thinking, trying to make all this stuff work and look better and look a little cleaner. And I still got a ways to go. It's still a big work in progress. But anyway, you guys have a great day. God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow.